Being there for your children, what does that mean? You know, the first thing first that it means training up your children the way they should go, so that even when they are mature people, in other words, grown-up people, they don't depart from the mature way that you taught and trained them. When I use the word training, I want us to see it this way. You train using knowledge. In other words, you are imparting the knowledge inside them, teaching them. But let's put it in another way. Indoctrinating them. What is indoctrinating? What is doctrine? When we say the true doctrine of Christ, this is what it means. It is the true knowledge of who Christ is, being taught or being learned from someone or by the Holy Spirit. So my question to you is this: how well are you mature in God so that now you are able to be there? In other words, so that you are able to indoctrinate. In other words, so that you are able to train your children. That's what being there for children is all about. It is not sitting with them and then keeping quiet or playing games with them. That is a part of being there. But that is not even a drop of being there for your children. Because you can always be in the presence of your children, but emotionally you are off. And yes, it is true, you cannot be emotionally present when you are physically absent. That one has to be agreed of, by the way. It is true you can be physically present but emotionally absent. But it is impossible for you to be physically absent and then you want to be emotionally present. That won't work. So it is true our children want us to touch them, they want us to laugh with them, they want us to correct them, all of those things. It is like when we talk about when we were being raised. Most of us in our generation, it was about how many sticks that a teacher can beat you so that he proves he has authority over you. Your dad, your mom, they were harsh people to you. For them, they thought the more harsh they are, the more they are there for you. Now, this generation of ours, we are raising children in the way that is not even soft, in the way that is spoiling children, because now we were wounded by how much our parents were rude in the name of they are trying to train us in the way we should be. I'm rude to you because I love you. I want you to be men. I want you to be women who will be able to influence the world. So they forced you to learn mathematics that wasn't your passion. Today you have that career that you don't like at all. You know, you are a doctor, you are an engineer, you are whichever these positions that in those generations that mattered. You are a politician, but you don't like it. Why? Your dad, your mom forced you to be that. Even to certain extent, some of you are even forced to marry people that you do not like. Why? For beneficial families, something like that. I gave my word to father so, mom so you have to go and marry their daughter. So we need to understand that yes, as well as that wasn't good, also that spoiling our children today, not training them the way they should be trained, it is not good. In fact, the other day I was telling people, most of us, we are not doing anything different from what our fathers did to us. It's just that for us, we are soft or we are too spoiling to our children, while them, they were too harsh and too rock to us. Neither of it is true and right. We need to be people who are not looking for a balance between the two, but who raise children according to the authentic knowledge of Christ and authentic knowledge of how he wants us to be guided. So my question goes back to you today. If you see how God would like you to raise your children, because that's the only weighing machine or barometer to know how well you are parenting your children. It is true. Maybe your dad was a careless person, spoiling person, or rude person. I don't know. But you cannot use him or you cannot use your mom to be the barometer to measure how good you are. God has never given that to anyone, even in the Christianity faith. God has never told us to measure ourselves based on how our pastor is good or bad. No. God has told us to be led and guided and to learn from God. So the moment we don't do that and instead say, I'm better than my brother, I'm better than my sister, I'm better than this, I'm better than this, I'm marrying this man because he's better than my father, she's better than my mom. Listen, I agree, they are better than. But are you in better than or worse than? Or are you in this situation whereby you are saying, God, what are the guidelines? What are the principles? What are the values of how you want me to raise these children of the person you want me to marry? So that now I follow, I do. So the guide of our life is not a textbook that I wrote so that people can read. That is good for sure. I can give them the true knowledge of God. But at the end of the day, every decision in their life should be inspired by the Holy Spirit. That is something that pastors must learn. That's something that leaders in church or in any organization or even parents who are raising children who are adults. Adults, I'm not talking about 18. Because someone can be even 40 and still a decision have to be made for them. 18 is just, we talk about the other thing you are talking about, one world order, whereby who said every child who is 18, they can make a decision. You, let's be genuine, in your 18, what kind of decision were you able to make? 99%, I believe you regret those decisions. But you see, the world lied to us that at the age of 18, you are under that. You can go and pick your passport, pick your ID, you can vote. And yet you don't even care about politics at all. But they convince you how much you can vote. But the problem is not that you are 18. The problem is that you are not trained from your childhood about how to make a healthy and informed decisions by giving you the right information and being given the true knowledge that guides you and being taught on how to make a decision. Parents, this is what we do. We don't make decisions for our children. We train them and teach them how to make decisions. And never make this mistake. Training someone how to make a decision without giving them the information toward that decision. This is very important. You always make wrong decisions. What is wrong with you, my daughter? What is wrong with you, my son? What is wrong with you, my wife? What is wrong with you, my husband? Listen, decisions are not made out of air. They are made out of the content that we have. So if your children keeps on making wrong decisions, it's not because they want to make those bad decisions. To them, based on the knowledge they have, that's the right decisions they can make. And what is having the right knowledge? This is not just knowing the right knowledge. No. We make decisions out of the knowledge we have interpreted. What is interpretation? It is understanding. So if I don't understand this knowledge you've given me, no matter how good it is, if I can't interpret it, I can never process it to make a decision. I'll use the wrong knowledge that I know that I have processed and I'll make a decision. That's what you call deciding. So my question to you parents who are there, what kind of information have you given your children? This family, we are Christians. How do you do that? But let's be genuine. Besides taking them to church, have you ever sat them down and you told them who Christ is? In your life? In their life? You hang out with men. They impregnate you. What are you doing? Have you ever taught them what marriage is? So some of these things, they are not to be blamed toward these children. Does that mean that they should take their responsibilities? No, believe me, they ought to own their mistakes. But as they do that, you too, you ought to own yours. And ask yourself, Is this child making these decisions because I informed them and they still chose the wrong decisions? Because I trained them, train, exercising, practicing. It means they'll have it wrong and repeat, having it wrong and repeat. That's what all training is all about. You don't expect the moment they go outside that they make the right decisions. But also if they make the wrong decisions forever, now, one of you did not do what they were supposed to do, either with giving information or with the information they were given. You, as a parent, we talk about one world order, whereby every father, every mother wakes up from 8 all the way down to 5. And then by the time they reach home, it's already 8. Kids are in the bed. They wake up very early going and the children go. On Sunday, we go to church. Saturday, you go to work. The children never see you, you never see them. You give them to a house girl or a house boy to take care of them. What are you expecting after 18 years of life? To have a good formed child? Let me tell you, the child will be formed, but not with the right identity. They will not have the right information that you have. And if you have it, you too, why are you not creating jobs that can enable you to be with them so that you train them? Why can't you homeschool them if that is the cost? This money you are pursuing, what is it for? We will be seeing that tomorrow when we'll be talking about family planning. Is family planning the injections and the tablets and all of those things we take in? Or is it having a plan that God has for a marriage and making it into your family planning? What is family planning?